Is winning. I've been losing my mind. Hey, it's Thursday, people. We on.
It's the last Thursday of the month.
It is the last Thursday of the month.
August 31st.
We here. All right, kick it off.
It's to me.
It's to you.
All right, this is a hard one. Okay, today we are going to...
it's not. She's being dramatic.
All right, we're going to talk about the elephant in the mind, in the room, in the space, the big elephant. At least it is for us sometimes. And that is self-doubt and imposter syndrome. We all suffer from it, from a little bit, some people more than others.
Relatively.
But it's a common experience for the people. And it hinders your personal growth, undermines your self-confidence, it impacts your relationships. And if you find self-doubt creeping into your soul, then stick around. This episode is for you.
Hi, I'm Pam Williams, a mother.
And I'm Jessica E. Williams, a daughter. And this is a mother and a daughter truthful chat, where we discuss our 35-year multi-layered relationship.
We've been through so many ups and downs. Not only are we family, but we're business partners in the high-stress world of event planning and production for short films.
We've also shared the same therapist for over 10 years. What some people call codependence, we call collaboration.
So join us as we share stories from our lives,
have candid conversations with other mother-daughter duos,
and shed light on the roller coaster ride of being a woman while raising a woman.
Hey, welcome to Truthful Chats. We used to have a time frame. We don't anymore. But anyway, welcome to Truthful Chats.
And we just keep talking about stuff. And the more we talk about it, the more we find to talk about.
So anyway, welcome to Truthful Chats. This is where we discuss the ongoing practice of getting to generational wellness. If you have never heard that term, it's our term coined, okay? And if you don't know what that means, it's somewhere in the description box below, wherever you're watching said video, okay? So we're listening. Shout out to the listening audience. And so every week we meet for one of these little truthful chats, homie. You know what it is? Truthful chats. And we have a theme actually every month here at the Create Generational Wellness headquarters station, YouTube channel, all the things above. And the Truthful Chats help unpack that theme just a little bit. So it is August. We're August, I was saying that. Anyway, it's August. And the theme this month has been Unpack. If you haven't been with us, you missed some doozies. So we're always encouraging you to go back and listen to and watch the other ones, okay? But this is Unpack Your Self-Doubt. So welcome to the show.
Here we go.
Getting into it.
So my favorite song, if you know me at all or anything about me, people sent me memes yesterday, as a matter of fact. Two different ones. One with Maya Angelou singing this song, and another one, oh man, what was the other one? It was funny.
Somebody did Maya Angelou rapping thick, and I thought that was really funny. So
yeah, it's the same person probably. But anyway, You Can't Break My Soul. That has been my
song. The song is actually called Break My Soul, but I was going to let you do you.
All right. You Can't Break My Soul.
Shout out to Beyonce and Frida.
You Can't Break My Soul. Anyway, that's been my theme song for the year because the things have been trying to break my soul this year. They have actually been.
They're probably trying to break her soul every year, but
no, this year's been.
Beyonce made a theme song.
Yeah, Beyonce helped me through this year. So, but I recently figured out that self-doubt had been coming from my soul. I would have never thought that about myself, but it has been revealed unto me by the Spirit that I've been dealing with just a little bit of self-doubt.
So sad.
And I was like, oh no, we can't have this. So let's pull the curtain back on it a little bit.
Wizard of Oz time.
Talk about it. All right. Here's a good definition of self-doubt, I thought. It can be really defined as a state of uncertainty about the truth of anything. So, but when it gets personal, it's self-doubt about what you think about yourself, your ideas, your emotions, your values, your beliefs, your abilities, your thoughts. All of it comes into question and it starts going around in a circle in your head. Like, can you do this? Can you really do this? Are you supposed to be doing this? And
interesting.
It can affect your beliefs. It can affect your decisions, causes insecurity, a fear of failure. You feel incompetent. You feel like, what have I been doing all my life? I don't know what I'm doing. And so you start to question your worth, your potential to be successful, and to accomplish your dreams and plans. Then your emotions get into it. Now you start feeling anxious and withdrawn and fearful, and things be going on in your mind that's not real, but they make you think they're real. And then you start to question and second guess yourself. And there's this constant dialogue of negative self-talk kind of going on in your mind. And that can lead to low self-esteem and a lack of motivation. So
motivation. Shout out to you.
I know you've heard me say sometimes I have to talk myself off the ledge. And I realize this is kind of what I'm talking myself off the ledge about. Like, the self-doubt of, are you supposed to be doing this? Is this what you should be doing? Can you still do this? Are you still good at this? What, all the things. So anyway, keep going.
I shall. We're going to have slides today because, that's kind of our thizzle right now. But anyway, we're not there yet. So yeah, self-doubt can actually have a profound effect, as we've always talked about. Okay, it's creating generational wellness, okay, which means we start with you, but we don't end with you. It needs to go to all the other levels and permeations of your life, which means your relationships and the people in your life. Family, friends, co-workers, mothers, fathers, cousins, sisters, aunties, nieces, nephews, boo things, and everything.
Play cousins.
In between, we always have a good play cousin. Play cousins be telling you the truth, though, too. Shout out to the play cousins, because sometimes they be realer than the blood. Anyway, but if you suffer from any sort of insecurities, self-doubts, all the things we're talking about today, you're going to have difficulty expressing yourself or communicating how you feel, what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, right? Or if you even have a right to be feeling what you're feeling, because to Pam's point in the definition of self-doubt in one of the best shows ever made, Westworld, you're questioning the nature of your reality, okay, to a certain extent. And once you're doing that to yourself, then of course it's going to have a ripple effect on all the other people that you're having interactions with, because you are overwhelmed or you're projecting, or you have fear of judgment or rejection, or all a combination of all of those things.
Talk about projection for a little bit.
So projection is one of those things where, like, usually something is going on in your own little heart, but you may or may not be aware that it's like the issue is you. Therefore, whatever's wrong with you, you end up putting it on the other person. Like, whatever you see in you that's wrong, whoever is probably the closest person to you at that particular time, you end up putting that thing on them, right? So if you're really insecure, then maybe you start putting on to that person, like, why are you so insecure all the time? Or
but it's not really
if you're really fearful, then you're like, well, why are you so afraid all the time? You making the other person feel like they fearful with. Again, it might be something wrong with your own little heart. No judgment. We're just saying that's what projection is. We're just laying out facts. Is you take what's on you and you project it as in a projection screen. Think movie screen. Think a big thing outside of yourself that you can project on. Yes. So yeah, we all know the people that have said the wrong things, done the wrong things, snapped out, done things that feel like, ooh, what's really going on? But it could be projection rooted in some sort of self-doubt, fear, rejection, things of that nature. And we'll talk about the ways you can help this, right? But open communication is never not your friend. Let's just go ahead and say that. But if you have the things in the way that are stopping you from being clear about your own thoughts, therefore you won't be able to fully communicate. And finding really supportive people that not only could pull you out of a self-doubt place, but can also recognize when something is off. Okay. Yeah. That's what you want. You want the people that be like, something is off here. What's really good? What's really going on? And how can I hopefully help and not make it worse? And
we've been having this kind of week, but let's keep going.
Self-doubt can be really hard to communicate because, again, you're questioning the nature of your reality. And if you're not a person who's used to questioning the nature of your reality, then it gets weird. And all of these things can take negative tolls on your relationship. So it's something to be aware of. So again, as we say this week, every weekend, probably every week going forward, you got to get real with yourself. Okay. You got to be honest with yourself about what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, where these things coming from, where we'll start, which is what we'll talk about right now. Okay. So let's get on to our little projections. All right. So symptoms of self-doubt. Okay. This is you. You may be suffering self-doubt if you have times of feeling worthless, and that's not like maybe one time, but I would probably say consistently. So let's say like several months worth, even weeks
several
worth,
times a week,
depending on the person. A very, very loud inner critic. I did a whole movie about this, so shout out to y'all. I know how it feels. You experience anxiety, probably more so than ever. Anxiety is normal. If you wake up every day in the world, you're gonna be anxious about something, okay? But if it's to the point where you like can't leave the house, or it's hard for you to like function throughout the day type of anxiety, that might be problematic. Perfectionism, you always got to do the things the right way all the time, perfectly, without no mess ups, which is impossible because you're human. But
you get really frustrated when
as a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist. I understand this, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to try. And then you avoid challenges or new opportunities. I used to be really bad at that. I think I'm getting better, but I would still be hella scared. So I'm not even gonna try to act like I'm not. But paying attention to these things can help you really identify and acknowledge if you are dealing with the self-doubts, honey. Okay, and shout out to these Black people I found who are looking questioning. All right, moving on to the next. Okay, so let's talk about where self-doubt can and does stem from. Let me pop. Oh, sorry if you're listening. We are in projections. So, I mean, slides. That's like projections. Okay. Projections is a word today, I guess. Somebody needs to hear that. I feel that for someone, as my first lady says. Anyway, yes, so let's talk about where self-doubt can stem from. Negative childhood experiences. I mean, that's all of us probably to a certain extent, but some people's childhoods were probably worse than others. So let's say that that's relative. Okay, let's just say that that's relative. If you grew up and were a child and had any kind of negative experiences, you might have learned to doubt yourself somewhere along the way. Critical or unsupportive social environments. I feel like we talk about this all the time, whether you have a supportive friend network, family group, or the like, or critical. I feel like critical is probably more so of a family dynamic. I don't know that anybody chooses to have critical friends, but that family, you know, things could be what they are.
But before you leave that, let's just talk about unsupportive social environments. Can be work. It can be it can be the work environment. It's America. Sometimes being Black,
America has a problem.
Being Black and living in the day and time that we're living in right now, for a lot of people, is an unsupportive social environment.
It's also being Black always in America.
Yeah, you go to Dollar Tree and somebody that hates Black people is there shooting it up. That's an unsupportive social environment. So it can be, you know, close to you, but it can be also
that's true. I mean, when
external,
you put in
outside that you don't have anything to do with.
Racism, sexism,
yeah,
like
all
the
of that.
Isms,
all the isms are unsupportive social environments that can impact your self-doubt.
It's true. So
okay.
Again, as we always say, try not to be a BASURA trash human if you can help it. Self-doubt, okay, that can help. Past failures and rejection, for sure. You know, those experiences make you question yourself and, of course, the nature of your reality. Comparison kills. Shout out to the great Jonathan McReynolds, aka Johnny Mac, for that record. Comparing yourself to other people is definitely going to cause self-doubt. And then, because the internet is a positive thing, I'm a child of the internet age, so I'm not going to diss it. But it's just very interesting how people choose to use the tool. That being said, social media definitely does not help you not compare yourself to others. So she's actually way worse on social media than I am. If you can actually believe it. That is not true.
Relative. Wait, you skipped 4.
Relative.
Societal expectations.
Oh, sorry. 4 was society. So let me go. Negative childhood, unsupportive social environments, past failures and rejection. 4 is actually societal expectations. So that kind of goes hand in hand with perfectionism, right? So that is, you know, if you're not where you feel like you should be career-wise, or I know for a lot of women in their 30s and 40s, if they're not married and they don't have kids, that's societal pressure. Men, I don't really know. I guess if y'all can't build a house, don't plan. If you're not maybe career-wise where you want to be or making the money you want to make, I feel like sexually and romantically, y'all do what y'all want. So I don't know that y'all have pressure around that, but maybe some of y'all do. But I feel like that's usually more so money and career status and things of that nature, because y'all don't have no ticking time bombs of eggs and things of that nature. So y'all be like, I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here. Young ones,
I think
old
they
ones.
get tired though.
It is what it is. Some of y'all should be tired of playing the field, but a lot of y'all are not. And then 5 is comparison, which we just talked about, which is, you know, limit your social media. I be looking at the little people's lives on the socials. That's what I be doing. But you know, every now and then you just gotta dip out, and that's okay.
You really do have to dip out. And I am on because we're gonna get to one of mine.
She does, but she also be looking at business people, and then she be feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
She gets into a low rat race.
Yeah, I compare other people that are entrepreneurs, what they're doing, you know, what that looks like compared to what we look, you know, just all the kind of stuff. But mine, it starts out being business stuff, then it just goes down a rabbit hole. But anyway, try to stay off the social media. So I'm trying to
I don't know about all.
Pull back.
Just
no,
limit,
pull back.
Just limit.
Yes, I'm trying to pull back. Just get a timer.
Get on, get off.
So, but here's the thing. Once you feel like that self-doubt, your brain kicks in, because your brain does what it's supposed to do. It has certain levels of your brain that control certain things, your executive function, your feelings for other people, interpersonal, all that kind of stuff. And I will promise you, I'll go into that in detail.
Conversational intelligence coach.
Yes. So I can help you understand why you say the things you say, the way you say them, based on how your brain functions. But one of the parts of your brain is the amygdala. And so the amygdala is really a good thing, because it helps you determine when you're in danger. And that can be in physical danger, emotional danger, whatever kind of danger. But it triggers your red flags. It's the thing that says, goes from your gut and it goes immediately to like, something is not right here, right?
And you know, when we used to hunter-gatherer scientific things, like some of these things are very primal base human things that we've like had to adapt and shift, because now we don't really live in the wild as much, and we are in cities, but some of these things still occur. So the brain function hasn't changed. It's just the way that man lives their life has changed. But some of these things still very much apply.
Right. So the amygdala is associated with fear, plays a role in activating self-doubt, helps you, like I said, with protection, triggers red flags, lets you know when
red flags,
this ain't working, But you may have heard the term amygdala hijack. So
I've never heard of that.
Amygdala hijack means your amygdala gets hijacked into believing something is dangerous when it's really not. So,
but it is to you. Your coworker is dangerous.
So it's not really
the DMs is dangerous,
threatening situation, but in your mind, it feels like it to you. So you jump into that fear, flight response, and all the same things happen as if you were really in danger,
running from an actual animal.
So you can see how, if you have self-doubt, that could be you all day. You could be having amygdala hijacks all day long. And that's why some of us, y'all, we be so tired, because in our mind, we have been fighting off all these amygdala hijacks all day of stuff that's really not true, but it has us feeling some type of way and being really nervous.
Maybe you feel some type of way.
Yeah. So you can get triggered with that. So how do you overcome self-doubt? You figured out you got it. Now you are like, oh my God, what am I going to do about this? Because I don't want to be living like this. That's the first thing you got to decide. Oh, I have this. Do you want to be living like this? Do you want to be free? No. Do you want to be well? Do you want to be whole? Do you not want to have all this self-doubt running around through your mind all the time? Because that's how you get to generational wellness, is you look at these things that are limiting you, causing you problems, and you go, wait a minute, there's another way to live. There's another way to live, and I'm trying to find it. So
another way to live.
We're going to talk about, I'm always going to bring it back to the children and how you can help your children. But the first thing is you got to do the work. And I know we talk about it all the time. You got to do the work, but the work is the same. It's like when you go to your job, there's certain things that you do every day. You open your email, you check and see if somebody needs a project finished. You look at your email. If you're in construction, you got to go by Home Depot in the morning and pick up your supplies and get the cement and do whatever it is for the project you work on. Whatever construction boo you're doing, you got to go get the stuff to do. Yeah. If you're in marketing, you got to figure out, okay, what are we trying to market? What are we trying to sell? The work, the process is the same. Just in the theater, they're working on a play right now. They got to go over the lines every single day and the blocking, where you're supposed to stand. So all work has some basic steps that are involved in your work every day. And wellness work encompasses encompasses these things that we keep talking about. These are, you have to do the work required for wellness if you want to get well, right? So specifically, overcoming self-doubt requires a combination of strategies and practices, including, do we have a slide? Yes, we do. Amen. Self-doubt strategies from create generational wellness. You want to find validation within yourself. You want to stop and say, okay, I'm going to stop this amygdala hijack that's telling me I'm worthless, I can't do this, and I'm going to go over here and I'm going to push myself onto the other side and think of some things that I am good at, that I know I'm good at, that I feel good when I do them. Healthy things that you feel good when you do. Let's qualify that. You always gotta say it goes for me. I should be like, I feel good when I be. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about self-validation, where you talk to yourself and remind yourself of the things that are good and solid and worthy of celebration about yourself. One way you can do that is we're going to get y'all with a journal one way or the other. You have to write it down. When you write it down, it goes on the inside of you. Something about the connection between the writing and your brain that makes it connect and makes it stick on the inside. All right. Past achievements. That's a way you self-validate. You look back and you say, you know what? I did complete that project. I did manage to save $300 a month when I said that was $200 was my goal. I did direct a play. I did finish. I don't know. What is it I'm trying to finish? I did clean out one of the closets and organize it in my house. I got 3 or 4 more to go, but one of them is done, right? So you practice that positive self-talk. You show compassion for yourself. Yes, I wanted to clean out 4 closets, but I got 1.5 done on that day. But I did something. So that's what you talk about. We did say. You get that self-talk out. Get the supportive network. Be around the people that's going to encourage you. This one is really good about that when I'm talking about, I was supposed to do X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z, and X, Y, Z, and X, Y. And she's like, girl, you did this and this. That's enough. We're going, so. After
the pandemic, like, I knew everybody was just going to try to jump back into frenzy and pray. We don't do that no more. We don't do that no more. We off that. Yeah. Well, some of y'all back on it, but I'm like, listen.
Some of us are not. Praise our God. I don't know.
I live today. I live through the day. That's success.
Limit the social media. We talked about that because of the comparison. It can get to be really hard when everybody is on the beach and celebrating and laying out and flying all over the world and getting another promotion and this, that, and the other. If you're in a place, and not to say that you're not celebrating and happy from them, but you gotta know yourself. If you're in a place where you're already feeling like you ain't got it going on at all, and you're feeling worthless, and you're in a space where you're like, my life is just sucking right now, sometimes you might not want to look at all the beautiful pictures right at that particular moment. You might want to read something else, or journal a little bit, or use some grounding techniques, which is the next thing. I took a pause breath work.
She did. I walked in the office and I was like, girl, what is you doing in here?
He came in there. I was like in there. I was doing the grounding.
When you have a baby breath.
Breath work to kind of ground myself because I woke up this morning going left. So I was like, oh, I'm so glad. I had scheduled the workshop like a couple of days ago. I forgot about it. It popped up on my timeline. I was like, oh, I'm going to take this workshop today. And it did. It helped me like calm down. Spiritual disciplines. Was on prayer this morning early. Not saying that I do that every morning, but I was on there this morning. That was good. I have a devotional that I read on a regular basis. I have a little book of prayers that I write in. Again, I'm journaling my prayers. I kind of do both things at the same time. I journal and I pray at the same time. Your spiritual disciplines, they don't have to be mine, but get you some, because that will help you overcome those self-doubt strategies. And then when you need professional help, get professional help. When you need it, call them.
You can call me. Who was that tweet? Call me. All right. So now we got to talk about self-doubts. Trout mouth, whole cousin, imposter syndrome. Because apparently, according to the experts that helped us pull this little episode together, they go together like peanut butter and jelly. And pretty much imposter syndrome literally is like, people talk about it being this really persistent feeling of feeling like a fraud. I don't need no frauds. Wasn't that Nikki's response to Remy Ma? I think Remy Ma's was better, but I don't get into it. Anyway, it's the persistent feeling of feeling like a fraud or doubting your accomplishments. You feel like, as these beautiful Black people are portraying for us, you know, you're you, but you feel like you got this mask on of the things that you do, but you feel like, ooh, if I ever take this mask off, they're gonna see that I'm not really doing
these little Black people.
What I'm really not doing what I'm doing. It's literally the Wizard of Oz, aka the Wiz, where they went and you found out that that big head that was doing all that stuff outside. You was like, it's just a man behind the curtain in a box. What's going on here? So you feel like that's what's gonna happen to you at some point in time. And it goes hand in hand, they're cousins, self-doubt and imposter syndrome, because they increase your feelings of feeling inadequacy, period. You just feel like you're not up to the task. And it can break your soul too, okay? Until Beyonce and Frida tell you,
don't let it.
Girl, get up. Man, get up. What is you doing? And people who struggle with imposter syndrome usually believe that they don't deserve their achievements. And they're usually held in high regard and high esteem amongst they're high value people, since you know that's a term for the culture.
High achievers.
High value, but also high achievers. They're very excellent at what they do, just in general, but they feel like frauds, even if they have a particular standard of excellence. So it's not necessarily always that like other people will view them as very competent, right? And very intelligent, right? But they might not see themselves that way. And then again, it's the fear of being found out. It's the fear of being like, man, I was good at that one thing that one time, and I don't know if I could repeat it. Like, I don't know if I could do this consistently. And then you have these constant feelings of feeling like you're incompetent, you're not good enough. Even though there's all this evidence to the contrary, as my therapist often tells me, but I be like, but you don't understand. And he'd be like, but fam, as he always says, show me the receipts. Like, where the receipts at? You can't come here with no receipts. And usually I have receipts of excellence and not whatever the imposter is trying to convince me of on that particular day.
Lying.
All right. Why you always lying? 4 P's of the imposter syndrome. It's typically where you get stuck, or I get stuck. Let me go ahead and say it like that.
I raised my hand.
No, hold on. Well, we'll jump back in. So perfectionism, right? We've talked about this. You just feel like you always got to do everything perfectly, but what is perfect? Paralysis, meaning you get literally stuck. Like we talked about analysis paralysis before, but literally it's such an overwhelm of thoughts and things that you literally just stop doing anything and everything. I'm the queen of that. I'll be like, you know what? It ain't all that serious. And I'll just go lay down or do something else or watch something until I feel like I can do it. Now, if there's a deadline, I might push past through it, but it's not worth my mental sanity. So sometimes I for sure dip into paralysis. It's like, ooh, paralysis is happening. And instead of paralysis, I'm gonna just take a full-on pause and I'm gonna come back to that. People pleasing, right? We all know what this is. We just always try to make the other people feel better than we feel. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Or procrastination. Maybe that's me when I put it on pause and I'd be like, nope, fam. And then I might be rushing to finish it later. But usually I'm in a better state of mind. I'm not saying procrastination is good. I definitely do it. But anyway, I suffer from imposter syndrome.
I told you this episode was like,
it is what it is.
It's a truthful chat. It's a truthful chat.
I'm not ashamed or embarrassed. It's the real thing.
I think mine is mostly the paralysis and the procrastination, which seem like kind of the same thing, but
they do.
I guess procrastination is you finally get around to it, and paralysis is you just don't get there.
And that's why I say people pleasing. Sometimes I care, but when I don't care, I do not care. Like you just gotta get to the point of being like, I don't care. Like it's gonna be what it is, which will help with perfectionism and people pleasing. It's gonna be what it is. You can't please all the people all the time, but you can please some of the people some of the time. And these things are usually felt by high achievers, and a lot of them are felt by women.
Yeah, there was a study in the 70s that like actually showed that men didn't really deal with
y'all could just be like
women do, especially
it is what it is.
High achieving women. So that's the thing.
It's a thing.
It's so weird that it falls out like that a little bit, but I
high achieving men can feel imposter syndrome. I don't want to make it seem like we were just saying women experience imposter syndrome more than men.
Yeah.
But high achievers, period, that could be men or women.
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome is a thing. So if you was a male, like, that's me too.
That's
like,
me too. Yeah.
I don't want to leave you out.
Yes.
I don't leave you out.
You always take care of your brothers.
I always do. You know, I got to take care of you.
So for dealing with imposter syndrome, if you figure out it's a problem and you don't want to be that way no more. You know what I'm saying? No more.
Shout out to Sister Cindy.
Shout out to Sister Cindy. If you don't want to be caught up in the imposter syndrome no more, you can figure out some things to do about that. One thing we found, there's a really good book called Own Your Greatness, Overcome Imposter Syndrome, Beat Self-Doubt, and Succeed in Life. That's a lot of things. Own your greatness, overcome imposter syndrome, beat self-doubt, and succeed in life.
That is a very long title. I can't believe they're sold that.
Doctors, Dr. Lisa Orby Austin and Richard Orby Austin. And we'll drop the link in the socials for you guys at some point. But their strategy talks about the 3 C's to deal with imposter syndrome.
We're back in slides. If you're listening, just go find the visual so you can see that.
So there's 3 C's. I'm going to talk about it though. 3 C's to deal with imposter syndrome. You need to clarify your origin story. You need to choose to change that story, and you need to create a new reality. So clarifying your origin story is where you identify where this imposter syndrome kind of started. When did you become first aware of your feelings? Were you in high school? Were you in college? Were you in elementary school and you had to you played the piano, and every time you got ready to play the piano, you worried you were going to mess up your solo? I got very personal there.
Okay, I didn't know that story about it.
Or in the professional workforce, you got to make a presentation and you're afraid that, the first time you did a presentation, something went wrong with your slides, and now you're always worried that when you get up and make a presentation, something's going to happen. Whatever that original thing is that sets you into a self-doubt mode, go back and find out what that is. This is a real important thing for generational wellness, because 9 times out of 10, you're going to find that a big part of your origin story comes from your family dynamic.
Most of the time. That's literally what most of therapy is, them being like, so let's explore your childhood.
Yeah.
So,
and
just be prepared.
Things that happened and how did you get to this point? You got to get to that origin story. And like I said, a lot of times it's a family dynamic. People don't want to look at their family dynamic because they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. They don't want to admit that their grandmother was abusive with that belt or whatever, however she talked to y'all or whatever. But sometimes you got to go back and you got to look at that all the way through the generations, as far back as you have the privilege of being able to know the story, because all of that communicated messages to you about your abilities and helped to either make you develop an imposter syndrome or not have you develop an imposter syndrome. And, you know, origin stories can be rooted in needing to please somebody in the family all the time, or a child has a unique experience or a skill or something, and everybody's like, what are you doing? That don't make no sense. You can't get no job doing that, this, that, and the other. But it's a very unique skill that maybe that child could develop into something that's really important for the world at some point. But if it's talked down, then they don't want to grow. You talk them out of it. It could cause anger and conflict if you're in a family that doesn't deal with that well. You know, your family is going through situations or whatever, and the way they deal with conflict and anger makes you as a child nervous, uncomfortable, anxiety. Then you can grow up not knowing how to deal with conflict because it always turned into a fight. You don't know how to have a good conversation back and forth and then say what you got to say and then move on. We had a good one this week. Yeah, we did.
We did?
Yeah, we did. See, it's gone. She don't even remember. All right.
Oh, I guess.
So you can
that's
choose.
A resolution to you, then sure. I'll go with that.
You can choose to change your story, change your narrative, speak your truth, silence the automatic negative thoughts that you have. That is really hard to do sometimes. It takes a lot of rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, repeat to get those negative thoughts and fears and things out of your head. But tell the truth, you know, speak it to somebody that you really trust and say, you know, I feel like I'm suffering from imposter syndrome a little bit, and this is how it looks, and this is how I feel, and blah, blah, blah. And then you may wind up finding out they're doing it too, and together y'all can hold each other accountable and help. But you shouldn't be afraid, like, to talk about it, because that's how you're going to change the story. And then you choose to change the story, and then you create a new reality around that group of people that you found to help you be accountable, what you really want to be like instead of what your imposter syndrome is telling you that you are. There's kind of some roles. We talked about the perfectionism and paralysis and procrastination, people pleasing, but then there's certain roles that are involved in imposter syndrome too, which we'll probably go into a little bit later. But perfectionist is one, which we talked about. Everything has to be all right. Superhuman, you can do everything all the time. You get it done. Doesn't matter about your health or this, that, and the other. You can get it done. You keep going, because you don't want anybody to know that underneath it you feel like maybe you can't get it done. So you feel like
that's also sounds like burnout to me.
Super hard, then you're going to get past it. Or natural genius, where you feel like, well, everybody can do this. This is just something that I have, or people who are gifted with this can do. But if anything ever comes up that challenges that, now you are totally freaked out because you thought this was your amazing natural gift. And sometimes it don't always work out that way. So you have to understand that.
Yes.
A soloist, that's somebody that has to do everything themselves. They can't delegate. They don't know how to tell anybody else what to do, or trust anybody else to be able to do it. So that
sounds like lack of delegation.
Yes, that drives you into imposter syndrome, because here you are feeling like you got to do everything yourself all the time, and you cannot keep that up. And then the last one is expert, where you know everything about everything, and you can get it all done, and you have all the answers and whatever. You can only keep that up so long, and then you'll be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. So just know that we're going to go into this more later because it's really important, but you have to experiment with a different role. You have to change your story. You have to create a new reality. And you have to admit that it's a problem, and you suffer from it, and try to.
It's a problem.
Go and get better. So, you know, I'm always going to ask you about the babies, because after you do your own work, you got to figure out, if we're creating generational wellness, you have to figure out how to trickle this down through the generations, and explain and show your children, the teenagers, young adults around you, how do you manage to recognize self-doubt and then move past it. So One of the things for younger children is you can engage them in activities that promote self-confidence and resilience activities, and it empowers them to overcome self-doubt. So these activities can be setting achievable goals. You got to clear the dinner table. If you have a dinner table, or you have to load the dishwasher, or something that's achievable.
Put your toys away. Put
your toys away.
Like,
yeah.
Why are you picking up after this child?
Yeah. So that's an achievable goal. It's a victory you can celebrate when they put all their toys away or whatever. Just start with little things. Don't give them, like, oh, you got to paint the garage. You can't do that. But give them something that they can do, so then they start to feel confident about their skills.
Confidence.
And appropriate. Encourage their creativity and self-expression. Draw the pictures, whatever. Where were we? Oh, we were visiting a friend and the other night, and she was tracing feet.
Oh, she sure was.
She was like, would anybody else like to have their foot traced?
And I was like, yeah, girl, put me on.
Yeah. And the fact that we put our feet on that piece of paper and she traced around it and drew colors or whatever, and we were, that is awesome. You made my foot look exactly the right size, or whatever it is. But that was her form of creativity and self-expression, and we encouraged it at that point. Promote positive self-talk. You see all over the internet, little kids talking about, I'm so ugly, I don't like this, I don't like my hair, this, that, and the other.
Lies.
Promote. Let them listen to Halle Bailey. You're an angel. You're an angel.
That girl with the black girl hair.
With the black
when they talked about you for a year, you came out Disney stunning and gave them an anthem.
Right? So promote that positive self-talk, engage in physical activities or hobbies that cultivate a sense of accomplishment. Let them be on the little soccer team, the little stickball team, all those little things that go to gymnastics, go to dance class, whatever, drum, whatever you find they like. See if you can find a way that they can be involved in that activity and enjoy it and create a sense of confidence. Now, if they can't catch a ball, don't be out there trying to make them be the next NFL player just because you wanted to be the next NFL player.
That's also how they start to have a self-doubt complex.
Exactly.
That's actually rooted in truth and reality. That's rooted in truth and reality.
Going back to childhood.
You got to know what your baby's good at, though. And go with that.
Let them draw. If they want to draw, let them draw. If they're good at video games, encourage them to be a developer, coder, or whatever.
Or to play them video games for money.
Yes. So find out, pay attention, find out what they're good at, have activities that encourage that. Encourage open communication. We cannot tell you that enough. Do not. If the kid tells you something that you think is absolutely crazy, which has happened to me on sometimes, where you just have to.
Why did she say it like that? I don't be having that many crazy ideas.
No, not now. I'm talking about when you were smaller. Like
I did. Okay.
Fanciful things. You know what I mean?
Well,
fanciful, imaginative. Yes. Don't squash that. Let that blossom. And encourage the communication so that they can come and tell you.
Low-key tell you, girl, you were saying and doing a lot of crazy stuff, and I just went with it.
Provide a safe and supportive environment, right? For the conversations that sometimes may seem a little like, oh, okay, but you go with it, all right? Teach them to identify and challenge the negative self-thoughts. So hard, because a lot of times, people won't tell you when they're having a negative self-thought. They'll just deal with it on their own. But you have to try and watch your children and learn for signs of when they're withdrawn, when they're quiet, when there's something that they normally enjoy doing that they don't seem like they're enjoying it anymore. You just have to kind of look for signs of when something could be off. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. And then foster a growth mindset. Don't let your children get into the idea that this is the way this is always going to be. Foster a mindset in them that things can change, things can grow. It can go from being this to being that. A lot of this suicide ideation is because kids don't think things will get better. They don't think things can change. They don't think there's a way to get from point A to point B.
And sometimes they do need medication for that, just because some people's brains are chemically predisposed to negativity. So I would just, be responsible, but keep that open as well. Sometimes people need help with getting to that place. It's not enough to just talk them through it and whatever. It might be might have a chemical imbalance or something, you know what I mean? Where their brain chemistry is just different. So,
and that's still a growth mindset. That's a growth mindset that says there is something out there that we can get to help you, and not make that be a bad thing. So again, these are all the things, not all the things, but these are some of the things that can help you, help your children not be doubtful and afraid and have amygdala hijacks.
I mean, you know, and yourself, let's be TI clear, because some of those
that
things
comes first. That goes
for you as well. But you know, when you trickle into the babies. So let us hit the recap on it. Okay, self-doubt is a common experience. Okay, everyone has experienced self-doubt at some point in their life, currently, previously, or if you're not, you will. It can definitely hinder your personal growth, impact your relationships, hopefully not hinder your personal development, but I mean, I guess it can, if you let it stand in your way enough. But you have to understand it, right? You have to admit that you have it. You have to understand it. You have to understand the emotions involved, the chemistry involved, the brain science involved. You got to be willing to unpack your history, right? Re-stressing and reiterating, understanding the brain part of it. I think sometimes we think like we're just like this, and it's just like some of it is just the way that your brain works and the way that your brain was designed to work. Which actually, I was watching somebody this week and they were saying the brain is literally designed to keep you safe. It's designed to keep you safe and designed to keep you comfortable. So anytime you're doing anything to put it outside of that comfort zone,
it's gonna react.
Even if you're doing it for a good thing. I feel like that about exercise, which is why I probably don't do it more. Like I'd be like, look, fam, we can only take this but so far. I'm trying to get better, but like Judah Smith once said, that is you trying to tell me to torture myself willingly is just crazy to me. But anyway, so your brain is designed to protect you, so it's always going to give you messages that help you do that. Okay, even if it's detrimental to your person, they're like, but we got to be safe though. So just keep that in mind. And then you got to develop again strategies for overcoming it. But that is part of looking at your personal history, your childhood, how things are cementing or developing in your mental mind. Do you need to go in and do some rewiring or some re-networking? And how you do that through supportive friends, supportive family, professional help. If you need it, do the work on you first, then you can do the work on the others afterwards. And teaching your babies about managing, recognizing self-doubt, engaging them in empowering activities to get them over the hump, helping them figure out, you know, things are bad, but they might feel bad, but they're not always gonna stay that way. Okay, life is a constant evolution of movement, so
hallelujah,
keep it pushing. And then again, supportive relationships and people that you can have in your life. We hope that we are that for you. If you like, I don't have nobody. Everyone around me is BASURA, trash. But you can just come and kick it with us every Thursday or watch whatever episodes you need. We got you. We are your supportive community.
DM us on the Instagrams.
All the things. So generational wellness is always the goal, okay? And self-doubt definitely is a hindrance to getting to that. Imposter syndrome for sure is a hindrance. Remember, self-doubt's trap mouth whole cousin, imposter syndrome, because it makes you doubt your brilliance and your greatness and what makes you unique and what makes you you, because being a trap mouth hole is lying to you quite often about your abilities and what you're capable of. Even if you're actually doing the thing. I think that's the thing that's crazy about imposter syndrome. You can actually be doing the thing and doing the thing well. Like, I am sure Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter has doubts with imposter syndrome. As brilliant as she is, she probably like, I don't even know if I could do it. Like, I don't even know. What? It doesn't make sense. Pick a person. Barack, pick a person. Anybody. I'm sure they deal with, I don't know if I got it today. And that's just part of the human experience, okay? But we're all working on cultivating wellness, the steps to wellness, self-cultivation, self-preservation, embracing your potential, thriving in life is the goal.
Yes, God.
And we would like to continue to help you do that week after week. However, we can't do that if you're not following us, okay? On IG, Facebook, fan base, You're at Create Generational Wellness at all platforms. We're
here on the YouTube.
At Create Generational Wellness on the YouTubes, on the Facebooks, and all the things. I know the Facebooks and the Facebooks makes me sound old, but I am. So with that, I don't got nothing else to say. You got something else to say?
I don't. Happy August. It's September.
It's literally September. Shout out to the Virgos. It's y'all time. Y'all know y'all be
September. We are almost
Leos and
quarter
Virgos
of the year. So let's go.
I'm very excited. I'm waiting for 2024. But we got a couple more months before that happens. And again, we got things rolling out. Okay. Thank you for
rocking with
us. This is episode 35. Episode 35. Well, many more to go. Cheers to 35. Well, many more to go. If there's a topic we haven't talked about and you like, yo, we all gonna get to this, or I want to know about this, let us know.
Or I want to know more about that.
Or more about that. Who knows? I don't know. We might start doing Instagram lives. I don't know. The sky's the limit. There's plenty of things that we could be doing. And again, we're still setting up the interviews for y'all. So,
yep.
But you ain't gonna know if you ain't locked in. So stay locked in. With that, we will bid you adieu. See you next week.
Have a good weekend. Have a good Labor Day,
y'all. Have a good Labor Day.
Yeah.
Rest from the labor.
Don't labor though,
because I know I will.